Yeah. I'm gonna have dirt on my face now. Welcome to Kids Uproots. I'm Carolyn May. You're in my garden today. It is fall and I am cleaning up some of my beds and dividing perennials. Today we're doing hostas. It's easy, it's fun. Well, I think it's fun. You might not think it's fun, but anything that involves a shovel and jumping on it and slicing something in half, for me, that's like a good day. So let's get started. We have a pretty tall tree line to the south here. And in the last 2 years, we've had a blue spruce fall, barely missed the minivan, thank goodness. And then we also had a diseased hemlock that was probably at least 50 feet high right there. So this whole garden was, I would say, a shade garden. So you can see there's hosta and heuchera, and there's hydrangea, and there's rhododendron, and most of these are happier in the shade. And they did great. All of my hostas came from divisions of other people and they quickly exploded. So I have A, too many hostas in this bed, and B, I have now too much sun for most of the plants that are in here. So I'm redesigning, reconfiguring so that it fits my new light situation as well as is good for the plants. So the hosta that I'm going to be dividing today is this guy right here. I don't know the name. I got it from my mother-in-law from one of her divided hostas. But you can see it has like palm-sized leaves on it. The slugs, they like this, and I just haven't really been doing much. So that's what all of the damage on here is, slugs and snails. When you are going to divide a hosta, you need to understand the root structure. Hosta have a very dense, fibrous root. So when you are digging it up, a good rule of thumb is to dig around the drip line of the plant, which means where the edge of the leaves are. And we're gonna just dig this bad boy up. You go straight down as far as you can. This is very heavy soil in this area. I've been amending it, but it doesn't go that deep before it's really compacted. Tough. And what you do is you just kind of work your way, stomping it down. There we go. It's a good workout. I'm huffing and puffing. Okay, so let's look at this. Notice how I said like the drip line of the plant? You look under here, here are all the roots, and they are just underneath the leaves. So if you get too close to the plant, you're chopping all of those roots. When you're looking at your clump of hosta, you want to think of how many pieces you want to divide it into. The way that you decide is looking into the plant. The adventitious buds that send the shoots up from hosta are right at the ground level. They're called eyes. When you are dividing your hosta, a good rule of thumb is that they have at least 3 eyes on it. But if you look at this plant, every single leaf came out of an eye. Make that clear. So there are hundreds of eyes on top of this plant that is fully mature. So you could, in theory, divide this into probably 30 plants if you really wanted to. But you have to remember that the more pieces you divide it into, the longer it's going to take for it to reach this maximum size again. So for me, a plant like this, 4 pieces I think is what I'm going to do today. This time of year, they're going to die back soon anyway, so you can be pretty rough with them. They will survive, I promise. So you find a good spot in the center. So I'm going to just take my shovel right in that spot and be very, very brave. Ta-da! I mean, look at this, what I just chopped through. That's the root base of a hosta. You have all these roots on the side, but this is the crown of the plant. And you see how fibrous that is. It's really tough, kind of like a tuber or a potato. So that one right there is a good sized plant. I might put that one right back where it came from. That was one little section of this guy. Here, we can take some of these off. And if you look at this, I could probably divide a chunk right here. Another slug. And there's another hosta. And then, yep, I think we're going to divide this one in half too. Let's see, we'll just kind of go right in the center here. Okay. Now, in looking at this piece right here, being that this was most of the clump, this one is going to recover really quickly next year. It has lots of space for eyes to come up here at the crown, and it has a lot of roots that are really, really nice and developed. Some of the other ones, like this one, doesn't have quite as much root system, so it might take it a couple years for this one to really, really bloom and get full size. But this is what I've discovered with hosta. They like being divided. Another slug. They're everywhere. I really need to bait for slugs. It's been wet and cool, and it's perfect for the slugs and the snails. And if I don't get on top of it now, it's going to become even worse next year. So I'm going to be baiting, putting out beer traps, and take a little container, put some cheap beer in it, and at nighttime the slugs will find it, and you'll have a really gross soup in the morning, but you'll have fewer slugs in your garden. So, pro tip. Yeah, right there. There are 4 hosta. So let's review and recap. Hosta, shade-loving plant. Eyes come up from the crown. Each leaf is from an eye. If you're going to divide a hosta, be bold. Take your shovel. You can even take like a saw through it. Like, they are really easy to divide. It's good to do it in the fall. You can also do it in the spring, right when the buds are starting to pop. You can really do it midsummer. They are so prolific and so hardy. As long as you keep them shaded and well watered, they're a really easy garden plant. So that's my little lesson on hosta. If you have questions, put them below. I am always a happy helper in the garden. I'm here to cheer you on. I'm Carolyn May. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.